Hey everyone, what is going on? So that's right, I did hold a mega tournament on my Discord, and these are the trophies we're giving to the first and second place winners. So thank you so much to my friend Ed. All of his contact information will be in the description down below if you'd like to get custom trophies made for your tournaments, or medals, pins, buttons, you name it, he could make it. So definitely go ahead and be sure to contact him. But yeah, the tournament's still going on. It does end this coming Thursday. But my run is finished, so I have all 7 rounds. It was a huge tournament. We had 100 plus players, and I'm excited to see who wins, and I'm excited to give these trophies away. So if you'd like to participate in a future tournament, definitely go ahead and join my Discord, 100% free. So we're jumping into my first round opponent. As you can see, my team is going to be Venusaur, it's going to be Azumel, and it's going to be Altaria, and as well as Toxicroak, Alolan, Marowak, and Stunfisk, excuse me. So my opponent's team is going to be Haunter, Azumel, Tropius, Probopass, Scrafty, and Gastrodon. So very cool team. So let's go ahead and see what happens. He does pull the switch on my discharge. I almost said Discord, but discharge. So we do neutral damage to that Tropius, but at least we have an answer. We have an Altaria in the back, so I'm going to be able to just farm up this Tropius. I think I commit to the farm down at this point. I think so. I mean, it is tanky, but maybe I don't. Let's see. Actually, I think at this point I might as well, right? So we're just going to go ahead and take this hit. Going to be an Aerial totally fine. Altaria can take it. Actually, never mind. We do go ahead and click on that Sky Attack. I guess I didn't want to. I mean, I was getting really low. I did get really low. But anyway, that's okay. At least we took a shield. We have a shield, and we have energy. So I have another Sky Attack ready to go. I immediately click on it before seeing what comes in. So the Sky Attack will fly, hitting a Probopass, not doing much. I decide to just switch into my Stunfisk. A little bit too late on the switch. I was trying to catch a charge move, just in case he wanted to bail afterwards, because I know Stunfisk does resist the moves that Probopass has. But he's just sticking it out, so I'm going to go ahead and go for my Mud Bomb. Doing a lot of damage. It is Probopass is double weak to ground attack, so I'm going to go ahead and shield this one up. Could have easily taken it, but then I'm going to go ahead and farm down the Probopass. He does pull the switch, and once I saw the switch, I do click on that discharge. So I meant for the discharge to go into the Azumel, but he does go ahead and shield it. Totally fine. I did click on discharge immediately because I wanted to make sure to get off that charge attack before he got off his. And we're going to go ahead and go for another discharge right now. This discharge is going into that Azumarill. So we're going to go ahead and just take this attack. We have to take it. I was going to try and switch, but he got to a charge attack, so that play rough will knock me out. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my own Azumarill. And he, as you can see, stops attacking. I thought he was lagging, so I stopped attacking. But I actually had reached out in Discord, and he said, just go ahead and finish me off. It's already game over. So he deliberately stopped attacking. It wasn't lagging or anything, but I didn't realize that at this point. So it looks like, I'm just going to resume and finish him off in just a moment. After, I confirm with him that it's not lagging. He's just okay with it. So as you can see, I do go ahead and contact him. And yeah, just waiting for him to give me the okay. So once I get the okay, it looks like I'm going to continue to attack. Look at the time. It's there we go. There's the okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch over and click on the Hydro Pump. So I waited a little bit longer than that, but I wanted to make sure he wasn't lagging. So I'm going to go ahead and get off that Hydro Pump, and it doesn't finish him off. Time's up, so we are declared the winner, but we had won that anyway. Would have won that without time, but either way, good game. So let's go ahead and jump into the next one. Game 2, let's see what happens. So I am going to go ahead and lead with my Altaria. He does lead with Tropius. This is a huge situation for us. We're just going to go ahead and continue to farm. I mean, I'm waiting for the switch, expecting the switch, right? We do get to the Sky Attack. I do click on it after I realize he's not switching, just to threaten shields at this point. And he does go ahead and give up a shield, so that's good for us. So now we could just continue to farm. He actually pulls the switch now on my second Sky Attack, so nice switch on his end, but we are going to be able to get off the Sky Attack into a Probopass, but I'm okay because I'm going to bring in my Stunfisk, and Stunfisk does resist all of its moves, right? All of Probopass's moves. So that's why I like having Stunfisk against Probopass. The charge attack does hit it, doing a lot of damage. So now a charge attack will come out from Culpeper. It's going to be that Magnet Bomb. As I said, we do resist it. So that's why Culpeper is awesome. or Stunfisk is awesome to have against Probopass. So out comes a Rock Slide again, resisting it. I think no, I don't farm down. Okay, I didn't want him to get to another charge attack, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go for the Mud Bomb, and we do knock out Probopass, so that is good. Now we're waiting to see what comes out. We still have energy, so I'm just going to immediately go for that discharge. Because if it's Tropius, going to want to prefer the discharge. I was expecting the Tropius, so we do get the discharge off against Tropius, so that's good for us. So out comes a charge attack, going to be a Leaf Blade. It doesn't knock us out, it does a lot. He actually pulls the switch, but, you know, discharge, I was almost fainting, so I'd rather have discharge go off against something else. Actually a Zoomel, so that was fantastic for us. I do bring in my Venusaur, and Venusaur can go ahead and get off this Frenzy Plant. So this is going to be enough to knock him out, unless if he shields. He does not shield, he's going to let it go down. Out comes Tropius. I still have both of my shields, so I'm just going to let this one go. Going to be an Aerial Ace. That actually does a lot of damage. I could have shielded that. I mean, I still have 2 shields. I'm actually going to let it go. So I do let this one go. And I just let it go because I knew I had the Altaria in the back, and I knew Altaria could finish it up. So we do go ahead and take that one. So good game to my opponent. So we win round 1, but of course we're going to jump into a third game. So let's see what happens. I am going to lead with the Azumel versus Tropius. So this is not good for me. Yes, we have Ice Beam, so I guess it's okay, but obviously I'm expecting the shield. So we do get to the Ice Beam, and I am going to go ahead and use it. So Ice Beam will come out to try and hit this Tropius, and that will be shielded. Totally fine. He is going to go ahead and get off a Leaf Blade against me, but you know, I'm going to go ahead and let it go through because we're able to take it. And I think I just go for another Ice Beam. He does get off another Leaf Blade. I am going to go ahead and shield this because I do want to get to the Ice Beam. So I do protect my Azumel, and we do get to the Ice Beam, charging up a little bit extra just to make sure he doesn't try and catch the Ice Beam. He does shield it, so that's fine. So let's see. Is he going to... He's just going to go ahead and go straight for the Leaf Blade. I actually let it go through. I probably should have shielded that because I could have gotten to an Ice Beam, but I thought maybe he would switch. But now I could bring in my Altaria. He brings in Probopass. I bring in Stunfisk. So we know how this goes. We've seen this situation in like the previous games, right? Rock Slide. Stunfisk is going to be able to take that. So we're just charging up energy. And he's out of shields, which is good for us. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for that Mud Bomb. Double super effective against Probopass. And he does good off a charge attack. But again, as you know, Stunfisk does resist it. Stunfisk was definitely a lot of fun to use. It was a new Pokemon, you know, when this tournament began. So I was like, okay, let's go ahead and use it. Let's give it a try. By the way, my friend Green Heron, we were talking about teams like the night before my tournament began, and this is the team she came up with, and I liked it, so I took it. But we were going over different ideas. I decided to give it a try. And overall, I think it's okay. I'm gonna have a different team for regionals. I have an idea of the team I want to use, so I'll be using something different, a little bit different. Actually, yeah, it's good. It's gonna be a little bit different. But you'll see that in the regional video coming up whenever my regional is, of course. But anyway, bringing in Altaria, he does bring in the Azumel, which is definitely not good for me. This game not really going so well. We will get off the Sky Attack, which does decent neutral damage, but it's not going to do anything crazy. Lag there, but it didn't really affect anything, I don't think, and it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this Ice Beam. Well, actually, a Play Rough, excuse me, I was assuming an Ice Beam. But I'm going to go ahead and go for my Sky Attack right now. Yeah, but he's going to be able to get to a Play Rough before I can get to the Sky Attack, I think. No, never mind. I'm going to be able to get to the Sky Attack, and we're going to do some pretty good damage. He does get to a Play Rough, though, unfortunately. That might have been a CMP tie or very close to it. Play Rough is not going to be enough to knock me out, but it's going to be super close. Out comes Tropius, and Tropius has a charge attack ready to go. Aerial is going to knock out my Altaria, so that was super close. But we're going to take a loss there, but we still won round 1, so good game. So let's jump into my next opponent, Unkempt Beast. So his team is going to be Venusaur, Umbreon, Defense Deoxys, Frostlass, Seismitoad, and Charizard. So we catch a good lead. We have my Azumel versus his shiny Umbreon, so definitely positive for me. We don't have the Play Rough. He doesn't know that, though, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and stay in and go straight for the Hydro Pump. I know this is going to do a lot of neutral damage to Seismitoad if it goes unshielded. Of course, he does shield it. He's going to hit me with a charge move, and it is going to be Sludge Bomb. Now, honestly, I didn't even know that Seismitoad got Sludge Bomb, so I wasn't thinking of it at the time. I was just thinking of Earth Power. I was just thinking of ground and water attacks like Muddy Water or whatever else it gets. But no, it actually gets Sludge Bomb, so that's pretty cool. Doing a lot of damage to my Azumarill. So I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Sky Attack. And the Sky Attack will be enough to knock out Seismitoad. So let's see what comes in. It is going to be a Frostlass. So Frostlass is definitely going to be able to go to town, do a lot of damage with the Ice attacks, but at least we do get to a Sky Attack. So this Sky Attack is going to do some good damage. Might have actually knocked out the Frostlass. It probably would have, but he's just going to commit to the farm down. So I'm able to farm my Altaria down. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Alolan Marowak. Now I do have to be careful for the Shadow Ball because that's going to easily pick up the knockout. I think it would pick up the knockout from a Frostlass, most definitely. So in comes the Umbreon. Again, have to watch out for the foul play, but I know Marowak can take it. It does a lot, but we could still take it. So bringing in my Azumarill, going for the hard-hitting move because he is out of shields for the Hydro Pump. Doing a lot of damage. And we're going to go ahead and take this attack. It's going to be a last resort. We're going to be able to survive it. Are we going to be able to get to an Ice Beam, though? Let's see. We actually get to it. He must have just been at that foul play, but we do get to the Ice Beam. And this Ice Beam is not enough to knock out Umbreon, so Umbreon is actually going to finish us off, which is fine. I mean, we're able to bring in our next Pokemon and farm up a little bit, our last, which is going to be the Marowak. He does get to a charge move. Now, I was expecting Avalanche, but I'm not risking it, and even so, it's going to do a lot of damage, and we're able to farm down that Frostlass and go for a Shadow Ball against the Umbreon. So we're going to be able to take this game. So good game to my opponent. Good first game. So we're going to jump into the next game in just a moment, and thank you guys so much for all the positive comments and feedback you've been providing on not only my Go Battle League videos, but also my Voyager Cup videos. I do sincerely apologize that I haven't had a lot of Voyager and Regional Cup videos for you. I know I've been doing a lot of Go Battle League, but that should be changing now since I reached rank 10 in the Go Battle League. But anyway, he hits me with Sludge Bomb into my Azumarill, so I'm going to go ahead and go for the Ice Beam. So this Ice Beam is going to do some good neutral damage. Can we get to another? We can. So if he does not shield this is going to be enough to knock out that Seismitoad. So let's see if he wants to commit a shield. He does. He wants to win that lead, so totally fine. So I am going to go ahead and let this attack go through. It is going to be a Sludge Bomb that will be enough to knock out a Azumarill. So I let it go through. I'm going to bring in my Altaria and farm down. So we do go ahead and farm down, gaining some nice energy with Altaria. Out comes Frostlass, of course. Frostlass, we knew Frostlass was going to come. Hoping to get to the Sky Attack before it got to Avalanche. I didn't, so that will cost us a shield. But now we have the Sky Attack ready to go against the Frostlass. He will shield it up. So I'm going to go ahead and switch into my Toxicroak, and he switches into Umbrea. That looked like a blind switch on his end, so that's really good for us. I'm going to go ahead and get off my Sludge Bomb, and that Sludge Bomb will be doing some decent neutral damage, and now at this point I just want to farm down. I know I could take a Last Resort and definitely a Foul Play. It is going to be Last Resort, so we could take it, and we could farm down. In fact, he gets to another one, so, well, another foul play, I think. Yeah, it's going to be a foul play. I do shield that because I want to be able to do some damage to this Frostlass. So we go for the Sludge Bomb. Questionable. Probably not Sludge Bomb because Frostlass does resist it. So that was probably not a good play. However, he gets to a charge move and he's going to be able to knock us out anyway. So I don't think it really mattered. I bring in my Altaria and we can just farm down the Frostlass. And we're going to go ahead and win that game. So it was a very good game to my opponent. So let's jump into, this is game 3, right? I believe this is game 3. We won the first 2. So it's going to be my Azumarill versus his Defense Deoxys. So let's see how this plays out. Obviously, we do have to watch out for the Thunderbolt. But Hydro Pump is still doing a lot of damage. So we're going to go ahead and take this attack. It will be a Thunderbolt as expected. So I'm going to go ahead and go for my Thunderbolt. Not Thunderbolt, my Hydro Pump, excuse me. And he will shield that one up, so nice shield. So I really wish I had bluffed with that Ice Beam. He's going to go ahead and get off a charge attack. I let this one go through. I was thinking Thunderbolt, it's actually a Rock Slide. That's going to allow me to get to another Hydro Pump. I feel like he shouldn't have bluffed there, but he did. I mean, that's okay. If I shielded, that would have been good for him. But either way, he does feint me anyway, so we just get off another Hydro Pump, bringing in my Venusaur, and I'm relying on the fact, well, I know he doesn't have Psycho Boost at this point, so he does do a lot of damage to us, and he did win Switch Advantage, but we are up a shield. Out comes that Frostlass. Frenzy Plant, gonna do a lot of damage to a Frostlass, because Frostlass is really squishy, right? So he will shield that one up. So I am gonna go ahead and I actually am going to shield this. Okay, I thought I let it go, but no, I'm going to shield it, thinking I could get to another Frenzy Plant, and we're able to do so. So I do get to that Frenzy Plant, and this Frenzy Plant, as I said, going to do massive damage, enough to knock out the Frostlass, because as I said, Frostlass is squishy. So I actually bail immediately into my Altaria against this Seismitoad. So I'm going to go ahead, that was a blind switch, I'm going to go ahead and shield this Sludge Bomb. We're in a fantastic position, because a Sludge Bomb is not going to be enough to knock us out. And I'm going to go for the Sky Attack. Yeah, this is definitely going to be the game, because we could just farm down another Sludge Bomb. Even an Ice... I don't think it could get Ice Beam, but even if it did, that wouldn't have been enough to knock us out, so good game. So we win round 2, going up against a Patreon supporter of mine. So thank you so much for being a Patreon. It means so much to me. It really does. So my opponent is running Venusaur, Azumarill, Altaria, Bastiodon, Stunfisk, and Toxicroak. So let's see how this works. This is actually a very similar team to mine. So he brings in Stunfisk. I bring in my Venusaur. So Venusaur has a huge match against Stunfisk. We're going to be able to take these attacks. Discharge, we do resist. Mud Bomb, we're actually neutral to. So let's see if he decides to go for Mud Bomb this time. He is actually still going for Discharge. So who knows, maybe what else, other move he has. But I'm not going to commit to the farm down, because those moves on Stunfisk are just too spammy. So he will go ahead and shield that one up. We do get to another Frenzy Plant. And this Frenzy Plant will be enough to knock out the Stunfisk. Unless if he shields, he does not. So Stunfisk is going to be deleted. Out comes his own Venusaur. So can we get to the Sludge Bomb? We almost can. That was so close. Gonna let it go. Gonna let my Venusaur go. Well, it's not... Actually, that does knock us out. But either way, I let the attack come through, because I'm gonna bring in my Altaria. I switch blindly into my Azumarill, because I know that Altaria is coming. Altaria does go for a Sky Attack against me. Again, I let it go. I'm being really stingy with my shields, and you'll notice that throughout this... I mean, I didn't have to shield that, obviously, so that's why I didn't. But even in other games where I probably should have shielded, I don't. But I like having shield advantage, but I think like lead advantage might be a little bit more important. Both are important, but I think leads might be a little bit more. I don't know. But either way, I go for the Ice Beam, and because I knew it was the Venusaur coming out, so I knew I'd pick up his last shield. And then I'm going to bring in my Altaria, and this is definitely going to be a GG, because I still have 2 shields. I could have taken this attack, but I'm going to go ahead and shield the Sludge Bomb. All we need to do is click on the Sky Attack, and this is going to be enough to knock out the Venusaur. So Venusaur is going to fall. So good game. Good game to my opponent, as always. And we're going to jump into Game 2 against Enemy Extinction. I like the name, by the way, bud. So it's going to be an Altaria mirror match. So let's see what happens. I'm just charging up. I'm just trying to get to the Sky Attack. I do get to it before he gets to his. So we're going to go for the Sky Attack immediately. And that will not be shielded. So that's good. So what I'm going to do is shield this so I can win the lead. We do go down a shield, but I am going to be able to win the lead now since he didn't shield that Sky Attack. And let's see what comes in. Going to be a Stunfisk. Okay, so we're just going to go for the Dragon Pulse. He does get off a Charge Attack. I was thinking I could probably live this Discharge. And we do live it. It's very close, but enough so that we can get off a Dragon Pulse. And I was thinking he probably wouldn't shield because he would think it was a Sky Attack, but he does go ahead and shield it, correctly calling that it was a Dragon Pulse. So good play. But I am able to bring out my Venusaur. And he is going to go ahead and go for a Charge Attack against me. It's going to be a Discharge. Venusaur can take it. Charging up a little bit of extra energy, and then I click the Frenzy Plant. I don't want him to get too much damage on me. That is enough to knock out Stunfisk. Out comes his own Venusaur, so I know I'm going to be able to get to the Sludge Bomb first. And totally expecting the shield at this point. Let's see if he does decide to shield. He does not. Okay, maybe he thought it was a bait. That makes sense. So we're trying to get to... Well, I do go for the Frenzy Plant. I know he's over farming. He's going to have to shield this. He has to. So he does go ahead and shield it. And definitely over farming. Wow. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this one up. Going to be a Sludge Bomb. Totally fine. and he's going to get off another one. That's okay. That's okay. I wanted him to use his energy. That's why I used my shield. So the Sludge Bomb will be enough to knock us out, and then I could bring in my Azumel. I wanted him to use his energy on my Venusaur, so he wouldn't get back-to-back Frenzy Plants off against me, right? So, in fact, he goes for Sludge Bomb, but either way, Frenzy Plant, we would have been able to survive. So I am able to go for the Ice Beam, and this is going to knock out the Venusaur, and we're going to be able to take that one. So we do go ahead and win round 3, but we still have another game because we play 3 games. So jumping into the next one, I am going to lead with my Altaria again. So it's going to be an Altaria mirror match yet again. Totally fine, so let's see. So I'm just charging up, again going for the Sky Attack. He actually gets to his first, so he is going for the Sky Attack. I do decide to shield this one up, and I'm going to go for my Sky Attack. Now, I expected him to shield this one up after what happened last game. Maybe he would decide to shield it, but he actually doesn't. So we're going to get off the damage against that Altaria and then feint it down with our fast move. Out comes Bastiodon, so I don't want him to farm me up. But, yeah, I take a little bit too long to switch, but at least we have energy now on the Altaria. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Frenzy Plant. I didn't really have a great answer to Bastiodon. Venusaur, at least with me, Venusaur really being the best one. So I'm going to go ahead. I know this is going to be, well, actually, it's a Stone Edge. I thought it was going to be a Flamethrower, but Stone Edge still does massive damage to me. But I didn't want to use my last shield. However, he switches to catch the Frenzy Plant, so nice play on his end, but let's see what it is. Going to be Venusaur. That was a great play. He's able to farm me down with his shiny Venusaur, so I bring in my Altaria and click on the Sky Attack. This will be enough to knock out that Venusaur, unless if he shields. He does shield. So it looks like he might want to farm me down, and he is going to be able to do so. So really well played by my opponent, because I do have the Azumel, and this Azumel, going to go ahead and shield this one. Again, keep in mind, he still has a shield, so Frenzy Plant would have done a lot to us. He has another Frenzy Plant, actually, so it's not going to be enough to knock us out, but it's going to be enough to do a lot of damage. As you can see, we do go for the Ice Beam, but all he has to do is just shield it, and he should be able to just farm us down. So he does go ahead and shield that, and he is going to be able to farm us down. So he wins game 3, but we still win round 3. So good game. So we're going to jump into the next game again against MLH. So I did battle him in the Mega Cup in Orlando. So he's running Haunter, Skarmory, Swampert, Cresselia, Melmetal, and Meganium. So really cool team. I was a little bit concerned with the Haunter and the Cresselia, to be honest with you, because I didn't really have a great answer, especially for the Haunter. Against the Cresselia, technically I do have that Shadow Ball on Alolan Marowak. But either way, I am going to go ahead and bait with the Ice Beam. And he does go ahead and shield, so that was good for us. He is going to go ahead and go for a charge attack. It's going to be a Sky Attack. I'm going to let it go through. Again, as I said, being stingy with my shields. But the reason I did that is because I knew I could get to a Hydro Pump. And his Meganium comes out and I click on the Hydro Pump. So that was really unfortunate for me. Could have went for the Ice Beam and got away with it. But that's really unfortunate for me. I just clicked on the Hydro Pump. It's okay. So I'm going to bring in my Altaria against his shiny Meganium. We're able to take that. And at this point, I just want to farm down. I know we could take the Frenzy Plants, we could take the Earthquake. If it was a Venusaur, we couldn't really take the Sludge... Well, we could take Sludge Bomb, but at least it would do a lot. So we're able to farm down the Meganium. So we do have quite a bit of energy on this Altaria. So that's really good for us. Out comes the Skarmory. So, okay, I'm going to go for Sky Attack. Skarmory will be able to resist it. But it's still doing good, decent damage. So we're able to get back-to-back Sky Attacks. So I'm going to go ahead and go for another one. And at this point, I just want to farm down. He might be able to get to a charge attack. He is, so literally 1 or 2 HP, but we're going to be able to shield this one up. Going to be a Sky Attack. I do, as I said, shield it because I wanted to be able to feint that Pokemon. Out comes Swampert. I'm going to go ahead and go for my Sky Attack. And this Sky Attack is going to be shielded. Totally fine. At least we took his last shield. He is going to go ahead and go for a charge attack. I knew Sludge Wave would be enough to knock us out. It's going to be a Hydro Cannon. That is not enough to knock us out, but we can't get to another Sky Attack, so that's unfortunate. So I bring in my Alolan Marowak. I try to catch another Hydro Cannon with my Alolan Marowak. Not able to do so. So I knew if a Hydro Cannon came out, that would be really bad for us. So I'm like, I probably should have shielded. So he does get off a Hydro Cannon. I was 100% expecting this to knock out my Marowak. It does not. We actually take it, and we get to that Shadow Ball. So that was a super close game. Yeah, I think I messed up a little bit. I think I should have shielded my Altaria and got off a Sky Attack against his Swampert. Probably would have been a more comfortable win, but either way, we still go ahead and win that one, so that was a really good game. Jumping into game 2. So I lead with my Altaria versus Cresselia. So here's Cresselia, as I mentioned. A little bit concerned with Cresselia. I know it does have access to Aurora Beam as well as Moonblast. So he's going to go ahead and get off a charge attack. I'm a little bit nervous. I am going to go ahead and shield it. It is at Aurora Beam, double weak to it. Don't want to take that at all. So I'm going to go ahead and get off the Sky Attack right now. The Sky Attack is going to be shielded. So I was happy to at least catch a shield. So I switch into my Alolan Marowak, and he's going to go ahead and go for another Charge Attack, which is good for us. We're going to be able to resist this Moonblast. So now I know the moveset. Future Sight would have been neutral, but he doesn't have Future Sight. So we do get to a Shadow Ball. And Shadow Ball is going to do some nice neutral damage to this Swampert. Actually, quite a bit of damage. That's a lot of damage. So I'm okay with letting my Alolan Marowak go down. So it will be able to feint to that Hydro Cannon. I bring in my Altaria, and I'm just going to go ahead and commit to the Farm Down. As I said, Sludge Wave is going to do some pretty good damage if he has Sludge Wave on his Swampert, but he doesn't because he's going for Hydro Cannon. At least I assume he doesn't. So we feint the Swampert, and we have energy. I do go ahead and go for my Sky Attack right now. Seeing what comes in first, it is obviously going to be that Cresselia because I saw the health, and I'm going to be able to get to another Sky Attack, so I wasn't sure if this would be enough to knock out the Cresselia. It is not, but that's okay. At least we do a lot of damage to it, and out comes the Meganium, so that is beautiful to see. I can't wait to get to the Sky Attack. He does get off a Charge Attack. Going to go ahead and shield it. Could have taken the Frenzy Plant, but it's okay because we have the shield. We might as well use it at this point and go for the Sky Attack. So the Sky Attack, not enough to knock it out, but we're going to be able to feint with Dragon Breath. So we do go ahead and win round 4. 4-0 currently, however, we still have another game. As you guys know, we have game 3. Going to lead with Azumarill versus Haunter. So Haunter was another Pokemon I was concerned with while I was looking over his team. So yeah, let's see what happens. He is going to go ahead and get off a Charge Attack, and I will shield this one up. Again, I want to knock out that Haunter as soon as possible, because I really don't have a great answer to it on my team at all, especially if it has if it has a lot of energy. So I'm gonna go ahead. He will shield that one up, so that's good. So he's gonna go ahead and get off a Charge Attack. So now I figured, okay, I could shield this one up and probably farm down before he gets to another Charge Attack. So that was my ultimate plan. So we are able to get rid of that Haunter, which is good for me. Out comes the Swampert. I am going to go ahead and go for the Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump. So if he does decide to shield this, at least we took his shield, right? His last shield. So he does. So he's going to go ahead and get off a Charge Attack against me. So let's see what it's going to be. It's going to be Hydro Cannon. We could take it. And we do get to the Ice Beam. Not comfortable enough. I don't think I could have made the Hydro Pump. So I'm going to get off the Ice Beam. It does some pretty good damage. So he's going to be able to farm me down totally fine. So I'm going to bring in my Altaria. As I said, I know I could take his attacks. He brings in Melmetal. Yep, in comes my Alolan Marowak. Now, I know Melmetal has Rock Slide, which we're going to be weak to, but Melmetal is really squishy, and it's also weak to my attack. So I go for Bone Club. I was afraid he would get to another Rock Slide. I could have maybe. Actually, no, that was a CMP type, so I couldn't have made Shadow Ball. So I made the correct decision. So Rock Slide will knock me out, but that Melmetal is so weak, so I'm going to go for the Sky Attack. I want it out of town. I want it out of this game. I want to delete it right away, so I go for Sky Attack. I don't want to be hit by Rock Slide. I knew he'd be able to get off a Charge Attack, but again, as I already mentioned, Altaria can take these attacks. He actually does have Sludge Wave, but Altaria can take that, and we could just farm him down and win that game. So currently 4-0, as I mentioned. Things are going to start taking a dive, though. That's okay. So going up against my next opponent, he is running Venusaur, Skarmory Wishcash, Bastiodon, Scrafty, and Lantern. So I do lead my Alolan Marowak into Bastiodon, so this really isn't a great matchup. Yes, Bone Club is double super effective to Bastiodon, but Bastiodon is such a tank, and Bone Club is so weak that it really doesn't do much. Plus, we're going to be weak to his attacks as well. So we do get off one Bone Club, we get off another one. And as I said, we're going to be weak to his attacks, so we're going to get off the Bone Club. He does decide to shield that up, so at least we take a shield. And now we're going to take this attack. It is going to be enough to knock us out. I don't know why. I mean, I could have shielded that and got off another Bone Club, But again, as I mentioned, I was being stingy with my shields. But I do decide to bring in my Azumarill. I am going to go ahead and take this attack. Azumarill can take a Stone Edge from a Bastiodon. I mean, it does decent damage, but we're still able to take it. I do charge up quite a bit of energy, and then I go for the Ice Beam. Bastiodon does resist it, but I am going to go ahead and go for the Ice Beam. And that is not enough. We get another bubble in there, so at least we farm a little bit more energy. Out comes Venusaur, so I am going to go ahead and go for my Ice Beam. This Ice Beam, let's see if he decides to shield this one up. He does shield it. Okay, so we take both of his shields, so he's trying to farm me down. We can't get to another Ice Beam. That's unfortunate, but I bring in a Venusaur of my own. And I thought the game was looking pretty bad at this point. I'm going to let this attack go through. Going to be a Sludge Bomb, does a lot of damage. Going to be another charge attack. I do shield this one up. This one is going to be a Frenzy Plant, I believe. Yep, it's a Frenzy Plant. So I know he has a full Pokemon in the back, and he switches out and catches my Sludge Bomb. So that was a fantastic play, and you'll see why it's fantastic, because it's a Wish Cache. So it's like, oh, if only that Frenzy Plant went into that Wish Cache. So we do get Frenzy Plant into it now, and this is going to be enough to knock out the Wish Cache, but we used a bunch of energy as well. All we need is one more Sludge Bomb, I believe. I have to shield this one up, right? I have to. This is a super close game. Going to be that Frenzy Plant. We do get to the Sludge Bomb. Is this going to be enough to knock out that shiny Venusaur? I don't know. Let's see. It is not enough, but we could farm down the Venusaur and we win that one. Oh my gosh, guys, that was super close. That was super close. So good game. So let's go ahead and jump into game 2. I do lead with Venusaur against Skarmory, so terrible lead for me. He does catch me on the lead. I'm going to pull the switch into my Azumarill, and he's going to switch into Venusaur, so he's definitely got me, he's definitely got me good, because keep in mind I also have a Toxicroak, so I have two things in the back that are going to be weak to that Skarmory, so I was not looking really good at this point. Definitely not the greatest team composition on my end, but we'll see if we can play it out. Going to go ahead and shield up this Frenzy Plant, and we do get to an Ice Beam. Actually, he gets to another Frenzy Plant, so I am going to go ahead and shield it, because I do want to get off this Ice Beam against the Venusaur. So we do go ahead and successfully get that Ice Beam off. And that is going to be shielded. So we're both out of shield to completely down. So I do go ahead and switch into my Toxicroak. This will successfully be able to catch the Frenzy Plant, which is what my ultimate goal was. It still does a lot of damage. So it's like, whatever, So I do go ahead and go for the Mud Bomb. I figured the Skarmory would come back in, but it's actually a Wish Cache, and I'm trying to get to another Mud Bomb, and we do get to it. He's just trying to farm me down, so he had the Mud Bomb, but he was just trying to farm me down, and this can't knock him out anyway, although it does a lot of damage. So I have my Venusaur and my Azumarill, and I'm going to bring in my Venusaur, and I'm hoping he clicked on Mud Bomb. He does, so that was good for us, trying to feint down the Wish Cache. We do feint it down, and I know what he has in the back. He has Skarmory, so I'm bringing in my Azumarill, just trying to get as much damage off as possible against this Skarmory. I figured I couldn't get to the Hydro Pump, so he brings in Venusaur. I'm trying to fight my way back, but it's not going to be easy. He does get off a charge attack. I'm waiting to go down. Going to be the Sludge Bomb. That will be enough to knock me out, so he does go ahead and win that one, but that was a hard-fought battle, so good game. So jumping into game 3 of round 5, I am going to lead with my Venusaur against Wish Cache. So I'm like, yes, we won the lead. I was thinking, well, he probably won't expect Venusaur lead again, so I did catch it correctly. So he brings in Venusaur, I bring in my Alolan Marowak, and he's going to go ahead. I'll take these charge attacks all day long. My Marowak can definitely take these attacks. Going to be Frenzy Plant, and I'm going to let it go through. I could have farmed up extra energy, but I decided to click on the Shadow Ball, just to knock out the Venusaur, so he couldn't maybe do another Frenzy Plant against me. I just wanted to get it out of the way. Out comes Wish Cache, and I'm going for the Shadow Ball. I wish I went for Bone Club. It's going to definitely cost me later on, but I didn't. So Mud Bomb is going to be enough to knock me out. So I bring in my Venusaur, and I do go for the Frenzy Plant. This I'm expecting to be shielded, or maybe he'll let the Wish Cache go down, but he does decide to shield. He's staying in. That was a good play, and he actually goes for a charge attack. I do shield this one up, afraid of the Blizzard. Gonna be that bait, gonna be that Mud Bomb, nice play. And he continues to charge up energy. So he's gonna pull the switch into Skarmory. I'm gonna switch into my Azumarill. So he has another play that, well, you'll see in a moment. I don't know if it was a mistake, but it was a wrong prediction on my end. So I go for the bait. I'm going to be going for the Ice Beam. So he does get off another charge attack. I am going to go ahead and shield this one up. Going to be the Sky Attack. So as you can see, I am going for the Ice Beam. I'm going for the bait. A Hydro Pump would have been enough to knock him out. But I was thinking, okay, I'll pick up the shield. He does not shield. Or even if Hydro Pump didn't knock him out, it would have been very close. It probably wouldn't have knocked it out, but it would have been close enough for Bubbles to feint him. But now he shields that one up. So he is going to be able to get to a charge attack. So this Sky Attack is going to be enough to knock me out. So I bring in my Venusaur and I immediately click on the Frenzy Plant. This was another mistake. I should have farmed up a couple of times, because now he could bring in Whiscash. He gets to the Blizzard. This is a Blizzard, and it's going to be enough to knock me out. So despite that fantastic lead, I'm still going to lose that game. So that was a really well played on Ham. So I'm currently 4-1, but that was really fantastic. No doubt about it. It was fantastic, and I choked. I choked. I'm not gonna make excuses. I choked. So moving on to my next opponent, he has Lapras, Azumel, Altaria, Toxicroak, Alolan Marowak, and Meganium. So we did get a good lead. I'm gonna switch into my Altaria to counter his Altaria. So he's going to go ahead and get off a Sky Attack. So I had a little bit of lag in Game 1, so we actually had to restart. So this is the restarted version of Game 1. So I'm going to go ahead and get off the Dragon Pulse, and he does shield that up, so nice play to predict that Dragon Pulse. I am going to go ahead and bring in my Azumarill, and a Sky Attack will come out from the Altaria. I'm going to let it go through. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, and we do get to the Ice Beam, so I am going to go ahead and click on the Ice Beam right now. This will be enough to knock out that Altaria, unless if he decides to shield. Altaria does go down. So I am trying to switch. He brings in Lapras. The switch didn't go through, but I'm like, okay, whatever. I do bring in my Toxicroak right now. And the Mud Bomb will go through, so doing some decent damage. Let's see, I still have 2 shields, so I am going to go ahead and shield this one up. It's going to be a Surf. Now, I didn't know if that Lapras had Ice Beam or Surf, so he brings in his Azumel. I'm going to go ahead and click on my Sludge Bomb, trying to get as much damage off against the Azumel as possible, but he does shield it up, so nice shield on his end. So he does go ahead and go for a charge attack, and I will shield this one up because I do want to get to a Sludge Bomb. It's going to be Play Rough, so that tells me his Azumarill has Play Rough and Hydro Pump. So as you can see, I lag again, but I didn't want to ask for another rematch, so I'm going to go ahead and go for my Sludge Bomb. And it doesn't knock him out, so he's going to be able to knock me out, but that's okay because he's very low, so fast attacks will be able to knock out that Azumarill. So I bring in my own Azumarill, and we do go ahead and feint him down. Out comes that Lapras, so I'm trying to get to Hydro Pump. We do get to it. Now again, I wasn't sure if he had Skull Bash or Ice Beam. I do go ahead and go for the Hydro Pump, and it's not going to be enough to knock it out, but we do feint it with Bubble. So good game. So Lapras on his team was one of the Pokemon I was actually really concerned with. If you look at my team, we don't have great answers to it. If it has Skull Bash, even Azumarill is not a good answer to it. Toxicroak is the only good answer. I mean, I guess technically Venusaur, but, obviously Ice Attacks were weak to as well. So the next game, Game 2, it's going to be a mirror match of Azumarill. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the switch into Venusaur. He does switch into his Altaria, so nice play. So perhaps I shouldn't have switched. The reason I decided to switch was because I knew that his Azumarill had Play Rough, so I knew he would ultimately end up winning that mirror match. So I was just basically relying on the fact that he wouldn't bring Altaria, but obviously he did. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this Sky Attack. And we do get to a Sludge Bomb, so I know Altaria can take the Sludge Bomb, but I wasn't sure if he would shield it. He does decide to shield it, okay. So we're trying to get to another one. We almost get to another one. I think, shield this one. No, I don't. I let it go. I could have shielded it, got off a Sludge Bomb, and knocked out the Altaria, or I took a shield. But I decided to bring in my Azumarill, I guess, finish it off with Ice Beam. So this Ice Beam is going to hit this Altaria, and it is going to go down, so that's totally fine. So let's see what comes in. Is it going to be no, it's going to be Lapras. Okay, so this is not a good situation because I know that he's going to switch once I switch into my Toxicroak. So I guess I didn't have to switch, but then I knew the Azumarill would have been able to do well against my Toxicroak. That's why I decided to switch. So I don't bluff here. I figured maybe he'll think it's a bluff since I didn't bluff last time. but he actually decides to shield. So nice shield on his end. And if I did bluff, I probably could have gotten to the Sludge Bomb. So I guess I should have bluffed. But anyway, the Hydro Pump will hit me and knock me out. Out comes my Azumel, and I knew it was going to be game over, especially if that Lapras had Skull Bash. But even if it doesn't, Lapras is just so bulky, and he's going to be able to get off another charge attack against me, another play rough. So we're going to be able to take it, but again, we're getting really low. So trying to feint this down, I'm still keeping the battle going. So I do go for the Ice Beam. And it doesn't really matter at this point. I knew the Lapras was going to come in and wreck me. So he actually, he brings in the Lapras, of course. And Lapras is going to reveal that it does have Skull Bash. So this is going to be able to knock me out. So at least going into Game 3, I know that Lapras has Skull Bash. So again, the only thing on my team that could really deal with the Lapras is Toxicroak. I mean, except besides Venusaur. But again, we're still taking a lot from Venusaur. So I lead with my Azumel. Going to be another Azumel mirror match. I was hoping to catch the Altaria, but I didn't. So again, I make the same play, and he makes the same play. So I learned nothing. I learned nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and go for my Sludge Bomb, and that will go unshielded. And trying to get to another one, the same thing is going to play out. I'm going to go ahead and shield this one up. And it's going to be a Sky Attack, and we do get to the Sludge Bomb. Okay, so we get to the Sludge Bomb. And is he going to shield this one up again? He is going to shield it up. Okay, so trying to get to one more. Do I shield it this time is the question. I do decide to shield it this time. Okay, so I'm waiting to see what happens. So now I do get to the Sludge Bomb, and this Sludge Bomb will either knock him out or probably take his last shield. That's what I'm thinking. So we do take his last shield. So he'll win the lead. He'll win that match, but at least we took both shields, although he took both shields from us. I do have my Stunfisk as well this time, instead of Toxicroak. But again, I mean, even Stunfisk is still weak, to Lapras. So again, we're lagging. But I was in a bad position. I didn't really think it mattered anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get to the Ice Beam, and this Ice Beam is gonna be able to knock out that Altaria. But I know he has an Azumel, and I figured he probably had that Lapras in the back as well. Out comes his Lapras, so as you see, yep, Lapras. So I'm going to switch. He switches into Azumel, and yes, I have the Discharge, which is going to be super effective to both Pokemon, but at the same time, Stunfisk also takes a lot of damage from Ice Beam, takes a lot of damage from Surf, because it's weak to them, right? Because it's a ground type. So out comes the Hydro Pump, excuse me. He does not have Ice Beam, but that's obviously going to devastate my Stunfisk, and I knew it was over at this point, but I'm still continuing on. Definitely a difficult team composition for my team to handle, I would say, right? So I don't know. Maybe, I didn't have to switch into the Venusaur, I guess, both games, but I don't know if that really would have mattered. I guess I could have played out the Azumel mirror match, even though I would have lost it. But it's okay. So we're going to go for the Ice Beam. We're going to go for the Ice Beam, and that will be enough to knock out the Azumel, but in comes the Lapras, and we're definitely going to lose this one. He could have fallen me down, but might as well go for the Surf and knock me out. So that is going to knock out Azumel. So good games to my opponent, and he does go ahead and beat me there. So that was round 6, so we're 4-2. We're jumping into the final game against 1, 2, 3, Say Yeah. So I battled them a few times in Go Battle League. You might remember their name. They're running Hypno, Azumel, Registeel, Toxicroak, Alolan, Marowak, and Shiftry. So I figured the Hypno would be the lead. So I do lead with my Altaria. I am going to go ahead and go for my Sky Attack right now, and that will be shielded. So that shield tells me that Hypno probably has Ice Beam, or not Ice Beam, Ice Punch, because they did go ahead and shield it. Plus they're staying in, so I'm going to go ahead and shield this one. So it is an Ice Punch. So we do get, actually they get to another Ice Punch, so I'm going to go ahead and commit both shields. This is going to allow me to force them to commit both shields, because we do get to the Sky Attack, which I believe would have knocked out that Hypno, and if it didn't, it would have been really close where Dragon Breath would have been able to knock it out. So yeah, he's going to be, or she's going to be able to get to an Ice Punch, and this is going to be able to knock me out. Yeah, Hypno was another Pokemon I had trouble with outside of Alolan Marowak with Shadow Ball. So I'm going to bring in my Azumel. She switches into her own Azumel. So I am late on the switch, but I switch into Toxicroak. So I am going for that Sludge Bomb. and she will hit me with a charge attack, and it's unfortunately going to be Hydro Pump. So that's going to be enough to just knock me out because I was slow on the switch. That was another mistake. Should have switched faster. I think I was thinking like whether or not I wanted to switch, but should have switched faster, but it's okay. So we're going to go ahead and take this attack, whatever it's going to be. Going to be a Hydro Pump, of course, so that tells me she has Ice Beam and Hydro Pump, because otherwise she would be going for Play Rough. So I'm going to go ahead and go for my Hydro Pump. And this Hydro Pump is not going to be enough to knock it out, and I'm like, okay, let me just farm down. It was 3 Pokemon to 1. I mean, we're not going to win this one. Although Hypno is almost knocked out. Actually, Hypno is so close to fainting that we actually almost win this one. So we do go ahead and knock out Hypno. Out comes the Alolan Marowak in just a moment. Now here's another mistake. I don't click on the Hydro Pump immediately. That allows her to get to a Fire Spin and do some extra bit of chip damage to me. So the Hydro Pump knocks out the Alolan Marowak. In comes her Azumarill, and she faints me. If I clicked on the Hydro Pump immediately, that Fire Spin wouldn't have went into my Azumarill, and we would have either tied or I would have won. So again, another mistake on my end. But I was hoping to catch the Hypno in game 2. We don't. She switches it up to Azumarill, so nice play. So I was getting ready to switch, but then I decided to go for Shadow Ball just to hopefully pick up a shield, but she actually doesn't shield this time. So as you can see, Shadow Ball doing a decent amount of damage. I try to switch there after the Shadow Ball, but the charge attack does come out. I do shield it up. It's going to be a bait in Ice Beam, so nice play on her end. Yeah, she just had, again, similar to my last opponent, she had like a really superior team composition in my opinion. I mean, it was difficult. That Hypno was difficult. She also had the lead, like in this case. So it was really well played, definitely well played, and props to her as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just go for this Shadow Ball. We do get to it before we go down, so at least we can take the last shield. So using both shields up early, although she is going to win the lead. So I'm going to go ahead and go down right now. It is going to be an Ice Beam. She actually undercharges it, so she could farm up with Bubble. So nice play. Really well played. She definitely outplayed me in these games. So I'm going to bring in my Azumarill, and she's going to go ahead and get off a charge attack. Obviously, you know what I expect, Hydro Pump. It is going to be Hydro Pump. And I am going to go ahead and charge up a little bit of extra energy, quite a bit of extra energy actually, and go for the Ice Beam. Yeah, I was trying to fight back, so I do go for the Ice Beam and knock out the Azumarill. So we have quite a bit of energy on the Azumarill, so let's see what comes in. Going to be a Hypno, so I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and go for this Hydro Pump. And this Hydro Pump is going to do a lot of damage, but of course Hypno is so tanky that it's going to be able to take it. So she's going to use another charge attack. It's going to be Thunder Punch, so she has Thunder Punch and Ice Punch. So nice play, nice Hypno as well. So we do get to an Ice Beam, so this is going to be enough to knock out that Hypno. As you can see, Hypno does go down. I'm going to bring in my Toxicroak, and unfortunately it's the Alolan Marowak in the back, and we don't have an energy advantage. If we had an energy advantage, if we could get off 2 Mud Bombs, we would have won this one, but we're not able to. She is going to go ahead and get off another Shadow Ball, and this is going to be enough to knock out my my Toxicroak. So Toxicroak does go down, and I bring in the Azumarill, and Azumarill goes down. So good game. So ultimately, we do have another game, of course, game 3. Ultimately, I went 4-3 in this tournament. We won the first 4 games, and then we went downhill. We lost the next 3, but it is what it is, right? You know, you can't do well in everything. I mean, 4-3 is not bad. 4-3 is not bad, so I'll take it. But as I said, I have a different team planned for regionals, and I think that team is going to be really good, so I'm really excited to use that in regionals and see how we do. But yeah, so yeah, if you'd like to participate in future tournaments, definitely join my Discord, 100% free. And as I said, the tournament's not over yet. It ends Thursday, where a winner will be determined and crowned, so I'm excited for that. Obviously it wouldn't have been me. I was hoping to go at least 5-2, but she didn't allow it, so good game. But this was my tournament run. I definitely made quite a few mistakes in these battles, but it's okay. It is what it is. And hopefully we perform better at regionals. I do plan on performing better, you know, because I am ready with that other team that I told you about, so we'll see how that does. But either way, it was definitely a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed hosting this Mega Cup. So if you participated in it, if you're one of those players on my Discord that battled in the tournament, definitely let me know what you think of the tournament, and I definitely want to hold another one. So we do knock out the Hypno. Out comes the Registeel. And of course it comes out. The one time I do not bring Toxicroak, the Registeel comes in. So I'm going to go ahead and shield this one up because I want to get off a Hydro Pump. I do not want my Altaria to go up against this Registeel, at least when Registeel is at full health or close to it. So I'm going to go ahead and go for my Hydro Pump. And we are going to be hit with a Flash Cannon. I think we actually take this. I'm pretty sure Azumarill takes this. We do. And trying to get to an Ice Beam because I can't get to a Hydro Pump. Unfortunately, we faint before we can get to it. So I'm going to bring in my Altaria. She gets to a Flash Cannon. This game doesn't matter anyway. We still lost this game. But you know, we'll see what happens. She does pull the switch into a Azumarill. Of course, it's a Azumarill. This is going to counter my Altaria. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Sky Attack. She played really well in these games compared to my mediocre plays. So, but some of the games were close. You know, some of the games, we put up a good fight. I think we played okay. But again, I can't wait to try my new team. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. See you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.